concept of sunnah in the Muwatta of Malik ibn Anas, Mcgill 1969 by Mohammed Yusuf Guraya. These are the different terms used by Malik in the Muwatta to express the concept of sunnah. Though Malik has used these terms in order to refer to the sunnah, they are not altogether identical in force. They constitute rather different shades of the sunnah and exhibit gradations. A closer study of the contents of the Muwatta shows that these terms have historical significance. For example, when Malik uses a sunnah al-thabita or al-amr alladhi lam yazul alayhi an-nas, etc., he seems to convey the sense that such a practice has come down to the time of Malik from his predecessors, and people still practice it. But when Malik uses the term as-sunnah indana or al-amr indana or al-amr al-mujtama alayhi indana, etc., he seems to convey the sense that the people in Medina follow a practice like this or that. Some of the scholars or Malik himself thinks that at present the practice should be according to this. The terms sunnah or al-amr or al-amal, meaning an actual custom of the people of Medina, it seems denote the basic and fundamental ingredients of the concept of sunnah in the Muwatta. Malik has used three words: practice, sunnah, actual custom, al-amal, and prevalent practice, al-amr. So, sunnah, al-amal, wal-amr. The practice, the actual custom, and the prevalent practice. But all these three terms have also been used to express the practice of those who have passed away. When they are used in this sense, they are meant to provide arguments for supporting the prevalent practice, and they are not used to denote a standard of conduct or to judge the validity of the actual practice. Rather, the past is judged by the present. That is why actual practice has preference over all other forms of practice described in the Muwatta. There is a massive evidence to support this view, but the following is the most glaring example. Describing a certain issue in the Muwatta, Malik says, "That is our agreed opinion. That is the opinion I heard from those whom I like. That is the opinion on which the leaders of opinion of the past and the present have agreement, and that is the agreed practice, and that is the mode which the people have always been practicing." Arabic given, but no Arabic text. Here, three terms have been mentioned. First, the agreed opinion of Malik's group. Secondly, the opinion of the scholars of Medina whom Malik liked, and the unanimous opinion of the scholars of the past and present. Thirdly, the actual practice. These terms are very significant for the following reasons. The practice of the past and the agreed opinion of the scholars of Medina are not ipso facto identical with the actual practice of Medina. Their juxtaposition is meant to show that the practice of the past and the agreed opinion of the scholars of Medina are similar in the sense that they are used as arguments to provide documentation to establish the validity of the actual practice of Medina, which seems that the practice of the past or the agreement of the scholars of Medina are not independent criteria to judge the validity or genuineness of the present. Rather, they are used to support the prevalent practice. In other words, the actual practice, al-amal, is a basic ingredient in Malik's concept of sunnah, to which other constituents are added as corroborative elements. Nevertheless, the element of the ideality of sunnah overrides even the prevalent practice. Thus, the most fundamental and basic concept of sunnah in the Muwatta is ideal or normative practice. We will revert to the documentation of this point in our chapter on sunnah. Next, to the actual practice comes this term agreed practice or opinion amongst us. We have already seen its various expressions. The most important among them are the following. That is our agreed opinion about which there is no disagreement, and I found the scholars of our city upon it. Or, that is the practice or opinion about which there is no disagreement, and none of the scholars of our city has any doubt about it, and the actual practice is also accordingly. It seems from this paraphrase of the term that it has been applied to cases where the scholars generally agree and the people generally practice it, though differences may exist among the scholars, and the whole Muslim community in Medina may not necessarily practice it. The term, that is the opinion or practice of the scholars of our city, Ahl al-Ilm bi-Biladina, does not mean that all the scholars of Medina held that opinion unanimously. The available evidence in the Muwatta seems to support the view that Malik used this term when some of the scholars of Medina agreed with his opinion. There are references in the Muwatta which shows that Malik was speaking only of those scholars who shared his opinion, though Malik has used this term absolutely at many places. Here and there he has clearly shown that he meant only certain scholars and a particular group amongst them. Sometimes he clearly says, the scholars whom I like. على هذا أدركت من أرضى من أهل العلم. The scholars whom I like. At one place, apologies, no Arabic given. At one place he use the term al-amr al-mujtama alayhi indana, the agreed upon opinion or practice with us. And at the end, Malik adds, this is the opinion or practice on which there has been agreement of a majority of the scholars of our city. وهذا الأمر الذي كانت عليه الجماعة ببلادنا. Apologies, no Arabic. In the light of the above discussions, we can conclude that the terms the agreed opinion or the practice amongst us and the opinion or practice of the scholars of our city are not generally in sense as apparently they seem to be. Rather, they are used to show the agreement of some of the scholars who agree with Malik. We shall discuss this point in the following chapter in great detail. Stay tuned.